So the developers are people that sees the problem that you want to solve, that know the kind of programming language that they want to use. You understand me? So what they do, they look at those programming language that they are familiar with. In agile processes, agile says people first before tools. So you don't look for people that can do Python. You look for people that can solve the problem. When you explain the problem to them, they're able to give you a good understanding of the problem, that they understand the problem very well. Then you can now ask those people, okay, this problem that we have now, which application, which programming language do you use? You can say I use Golang. Somebody can say I use Python. Somebody can say I use JavaScript. The reason why some companies will say you must have JavaScript, because that company is not new. They already have people that have developed it, you understand me, with the application. So instead of them to have another new person that will come and change their stack, they better have somebody that can also continue that process. But when you are starting up a fresh company, most times you don't even ask the programming language, you ask for the people that can really understand the problem. These people that can understand the problem and understand the management, how this problem can be resolved, they are called the developers. So what is the help of a DevOps engineer? A DevOps engineer also helps these developers work well, so that when they are working, they won't be doing one thing at the same time. They'll be able to manage the developers very well. Like me, I manage most of the developers very well. That's the work I do on a daily basis. And that's why you see my system, I work around the clock. You understand me? We work around the clock, because some of times it's their code, though. They know how to code. I don't know how to do their code, but I know how to make their code work well. I know how to make sure that they don't do one code 5 times. You understand me? They run one code and they push it to GitHub. I set up the mechanism for them so that when this one is pushing, there won't be any conflict. So that's the work of a DevOps engineer. So I also work with the developers. So what is a continuous integration? Now, the code, they have designed the code. They have write the code. Now, for example, you can design three software engineers, the developers to one part. For example, the admin unit. Maybe if you log into a system, you want somebody to put username and password. That part is called admin. Are you getting me? And you want that admin part to be handled by 2 or 3 developers, and they're using the same language. So you can write 2 or 3 developers to be writing to one. So in our next class, I'm going to show you the flow of DevOps so you understand. So when 2 or 3 of them are writing, for them to be pushing things into that bucket, there will be a problem, because everybody cannot be pushing and every time. There's a procedure. So you have to set it up so that when 3 of them can be master, 3 of them can be developer, you now make one the lead or the developer. That lead should be somebody that understands the code very well. So when A, B, C is pushing to the repo, to the bucket, which I explained to you, the master, the person that is their lead, can look at the code and say, okay, is this code okay? Is it clean? Will it affect the work we have been doing before? You understand me? So that process of looking at this code and reviewing this code and merging the code with the existing one is called Git operations. Are you getting me? And it's also called pull request management. Pull request meaning somebody is pushing something to the bucket, is asking the person that is in charge, is okay, is this thing okay? The person will now pick and merge. When you merge, you approve, you add it to the branch, everything continue. This is development in DevOps. Sorry, I'm rushing it, but I want to come back and deal with it. With the quality assurance, look at the code that has been done, if it's okay, if it's healthy, if there's no code, if there's no security breach, maybe somebody mistakenly leaves some keys inside, some access key, you look at it, then the quality assurance look at the code to see if it's quality enough, and also look at what has been done fully, the application totally. You understand me? To see if the application is functioning the way they expect it to function. That's what the QA team does. Then the operation team, which is the people that will help to the application, that the code that have been done, you understand me? They help them to make it a Docker file and put the Docker file into either a VM, a virtual machine, which is a server, which is a computer, you understand me, or a Kubernetes engine, and make sure that the code, the way they see it, is what they see at the end. The operation team is their work of operation team is to make sure that everything that the developers have done is for them to see it, you know what I mean, to put it inside the engine that will run that application. Then under the operation team, we also have the infrastructure team. The infrastructure team are the people that look out for the best infrastructure that can help that code work. You understand me? For example, now you can decide to say, okay, we want to put it in our data center, in our server, in our room. That's a private cloud. Or we want to put it on a server that is somewhere else. That is the essence of this class, which is public cloud, like the AWS, which we are going to be looking at after this class. AWS is a server, it's a resources in the cloud. Somebody owns it. You are borrowing it to use. Because it's not only for only me, it's for everybody. Everybody can go there and borrow the resources and start using. That's why it's called public cloud. It's not for public. A private cloud is for only me, myself, my company. Nobody is coming to use that resources. It's called a private cloud, a private resource like a data center. So the infrastructure team will look at, okay, this application I want to do, how many people do we want to serve? We want to serve 20 million. For example, an application that we design now, we are proposing the application to serve the whole Nigeria, say 22 million. If you are going to get a data center for that, it's going to be very expensive. It's better use the public cloud. That is why the cloud engineering that we are talking about is gaining more ground. Because with cloud infrastructure, I can serve 2 continents. I can only pay for the resources that is being used. The one that is not used, I will not pay for it if I may manage it very well. This is where the infrastructure team will come. What a DevOps role in infrastructure team will also help in automating this infrastructure by writing the Terraform file. Instead of going to AWS and be clicking, you just write a code with a file. And that code, we can do the same infrastructure. We're going to be talking about that. The monitoring, the application that has been put into the computer server, we're already using it. You need to set up some mechanism so that when one server goes down, they can alert to you that this thing have come down. You understand me? That process of observing what has been deployed in the process in the whole infrastructure is called continuous monitoring. So DevOps is also part of continuous monitoring. We also set up automation system for it. Feedback. You understand now? This is where I say we now come in. Customer will now use the app and say, this app is useless. If you go to Google Play Store, you see many people are be commenting rubbish. Like, I don't like the way this thing is. You understand me? Then the DevOps also set up a system that will help people to look and comment and make reference. Whatever thing they make is what they will not take back to the developer, and they call it features. And the features will now still do it, and they will not come back again. And the continuous operation, rollback, update, modification, everything. So these are the processes that make up DevOps. So if you say you want to become a DevOps engineer, these are the things that you're going to be doing. So you see, say, not be small thing. So you can be a developer, you're not a DevOps. You can be a DevOps from developer background. DevOps, you can be a DevOps from 2 aspects, either from a developer or from operation. A QA team can also be a DevOps engineer if the QA team is more interested in coding or operation. But if you say you want to be a DevOps engineer, you must be able to automate everything the developers are doing. What do I mean by automate? Things that they do every time. You set up a system that can help them do it without them doing it again and again. That's automation. You understand me? An operation, deployment, instead of carrying file and putting it in the server. Anytime they want to do deployment, you go to the server and do it. That's what the operation do. What you do, you set up a mechanism like the CI/CD we are talking about. The CI/CD, a good CI/CD can do this thing. Continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. You understand me? A CI/CD can do this. I will explain to you. We are going to make use of one. Now, this is a life cycle of a DevOps. So these are the things you are going to be doing as a DevOps engineer. Developing, supporting development, automating operations, automating deployment, automating feedback, automating monitoring, automating testing, and automating integration. Small companies, you'll be doing everything. That's why if you have a very good DevOps engineer, you may not even need an operation team. Like the company I work now, we don't have an operation team. I perform operation role because it's a startup. But fine, it's not like we are really a startup, we are a big company, but this product we are working on is a new product. So you understand me? So I'm performing operation team, and I'm also doing the deployment. You understand me? The only thing I don't do development, but I support developers to work. I do integration, I support testing, but I don't do testing. We have a testing team, which are the QA team. I do monitoring. So a DevOps engineer, you are expected to do everything, and any problem that comes from all these places, you're supposed to give solution to it. Now, in summary, DevOps does continuous development, which is planning and coding software, continuous integration, which is PRO. What is continuous development? Making sure that developers are working, are you getting me, smoothly, setting up the bid bucket and everything. Then continuous integration, making sure that as they are making their requests, putting it in the bucket, everything is in order, they're not clashing, you understand me? And as they put it in the bucket, the system automatically trigger and build and deliver. Don't worry, I will tell you. So you see this thing I just did now, hello? This thing I just did, this life development cycle, right now, everything is like a machine. This machine, okay, let me just come here. We are still going to come back and deal with it more, but I'm just doing a brief introduction. Now, a developer do his work, then you have a Git bucket or GitHub. The Git perceive that the developers have committed a code. What the Git does, it picks the code and asks for pull request, PRO. When there's a pull request, this is done by Jira. The pull request is done automatically. It went for testing because there's a code that will test that code if it's working. If that code tests successful, then automatically begin to build. Are you getting me? And begin to deploy. Sometimes it goes this way, sometimes it goes this way. Depending, sometimes it goes this way. You can also do it like this. You do a code, after the code is okay, then you give the code to the developer, to the operation team. The operation put it in a deployment, meaning in a Kubernetes engine. When the Kubernetes engine is being seen, there are people that are using the application, like whenever you download an application now, you start viewing it, using it. When you start using it, you see that there's a problem. Are you getting me? You feed back the problem back to the operation team. The operation sees it, the developer sees it. So the monitoring is like you're monitoring the deployment, monitoring the whole process, monitoring even the feedback, testing. So all these things are taking place without in any order, but just that it starts from here and it ends here. Either it starts like this, or it starts like this, or it starts zigzagly, but it must start from development and it ends with feedback. Now, this is the processes, and I'll say thank you for the time. So I'm going to share this slide. You understand me? What I just did now is a complete workload of a DevOps engineer. Why did I run through this with us? Is because I want us to know step by step what we are going to be doing. So step by step, what we're going to be doing, fine. We are going to start with this infrastructure because, well, as I mentioned today, that my plan today is that at the end of today's class, we should be able to pick up a project and look out for a problem and start thinking about the problem. Then we'll not talk about what and why should we do it. So that is my class. That's my presentation today. Remember, last time I did not present because there was no need to present, but I think it's time to start presenting. Stop sharing. Okay, stop sharing. This guy is still sharing. Can you see my screen now? Okay.